Hey everybody, I'm back and I'm still working on my commission for the Fuzz. And I'm gonna set my little timer here so I don't make a ridiculously long video because that has happened. So I reached out to everybody just to see if they'd like their characters to be wearing clothing, and I'm glad that I did because I definitely got a response saying, hey, yeah, we definitely want our characters to be wearing clothing. Um, So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the first one that got back to me, let's see, was actually this guy. They, I'm actually going to put it on a different layer just because I don't want to screw up my sketching that I have. So this guy is going to be wearing like a jacket. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to draw his jacket. I make sure that's on the right layer. That's like a nightmare if that ever happens. There's a meme floating around going like, "Sir, you have to stop drawing," and then he's like, "Why?" And he's like, "You're on the wrong layer." And that fear is definitely quite real. He's got kind of like a 10th Doctor sort of jacket on, and it's kind of open with like a collar. I have it kind of like fold in over here. So anyway, I have some more 420 stories, so I'll go ahead and share some of them with y'all. Also, I say y'all just like I'm not Texan and I'm not Southern. I'm born and raised here in Oregon. I just, for some reason, I've been hanging out with people that say that and it stuck. So, I don't know. Just, you can make of that what you will. But, so, anyway, one of my really good friends growing up, uh, he kind of introduced it to me. Um, I didn't really jump in right away. I just like, this is fun, just whenever. But, so, anyway, his mom was doing Weight Watchers, and his sister and her boyfriend were over at their parents' house, and he was still. I mean, this was like college. Like he was. We both were home from college for I think the winter time or something, and we're all sitting around watching a movie, and I honestly can't even remember the movie, but like I come in and I brought some snacks, and he was like, "So, just so you know," and he opened up the refrigerator. He's like, "You're just gonna have to have water. We don't really have like anything really to drink. Um, Definitely this this cranberry juice. Like, don't touch this cranberry juice." And I was like, "Yeah, I probably wouldn't go. Gosh, I'm so thirsty. I want cranberry juice. Like, that wouldn't ever cross my mind." But he had to assure me, probably because his mom told him, this cranberry juice is mom's. And I was like, all right. And so, we both go in. Actually, I think we might have been watching a Disney movie. It was just kind of like cartoons and chill. And not in the adult way, just like hanging out and, with him and his sister and her boyfriend and like just watching cartoons and chilling out. And, anyway, and he just like disappears. And I'm all like, I didn't even realize that he'd left the room. It was like, where did my friend go? And his sister was like, dude, I don't know either. I was like, man, I wonder where he went. And like, not 10 minutes later, maybe even 5, he like comes in and he's got the cranberry juice he told me not to touch. And he just like takes a giant swig of it like from the carton itself. And I just like point to him. I'm like, "Oh, dude." And he like takes a swig, and then his whole face just like scrunches up. And he just goes, "Man, cranberry juice, why do you taste like that?" And I just burst into laughing. I thought that was just so funny. I could not stop laughing. His sister too. We both were just like, bah! And but yeah, I was like, that was like our inside joke for the long. I don't think he was actually happy about that inside joke. He probably was like, yeah, that's really dumb. You're making fun of me. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to make fun of the cranberry juice for tasting like that. Ah! But yeah, that was pretty funny. I think the first time I ever tried weed was actually with him and our mutual friend, and we were just kind of chilling in his friend's like Jeep or something. I think it was a Jeep. It was like might have been some sort of suburban vehicle of some kind, but anyway, I didn't really know what to expect. I was like, how do I know that this is working? Like, I don't even know what I'm looking for here. And they turned to the back and they're like, "How do you feel?" And I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel." They're like, "Well, just tell us how you feel." And I'm like, "Well, my brain is very bored." And they were like, "Yep, you're stoned." That's a very, very high comment. And I was like, "Oh, cool, I guess it's working." And then the whole rest of the night I was like, I can feel my face. Like, and then I went into, cuz my degree is in animation. Um, and I studied a little bit of like computer animation, and I was like, I feel like my face is made of polygons right now. And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I can like feel all the polygons in my face right now. and like, and then I just sat there, just wall, like moving my mouth, like all the polygons. And yeah, that was like the first time I ever got stoned. I think that's actually pretty good. I didn't really look at a picture. I just saw a picture, and then I'm gonna add some like little cuff wrinkles. That's too much, I think. I might have to go back and redo that part. But yeah, that was like me being a ding dong, which I'm pretty good at doing. Uh, let's see. I think the best time I ever had while smoking was actually with my dad. Um, it was like winter. I was home, and unfortunately, it was under very sad circumstances. A close friend had committed suicide, and so my dad and I are like kind of birds of a feather. We have a really hard time like showing our emotions. I mean, I told you in my last video I'm pretty soppy. I can start sobbing if I feel so inclined, but sometimes I just like don't really know how to react and don't, and I kind of feel like that's a little inappropriate because when sad things happen. Oh well, okay, I don't know. It could be just the fact that coping can be hard, but anyway, so my dad and I we decide we're gonna smoke in honor of our friend who really enjoyed it, and we're gonna go on a walk. And it was like 2 in the morning, and it was like so cold, and um, I was home for the winter, and my dad, like right before we head out, he goes, "We're gonna see dinosaurs." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna see dinosaurs." And I was like, "All right." And so we start walking, and like the first thing we start to do is like we wage a war on every frozen puddle. And this is 2 in the morning, so these are two completely stoned adults wandering around, stepping on all the puddles. I mean, we were really enjoying ourselves. And we're making our way to his parents' house, and um, we stop. Like he lived in one of those like suburban cookie cutter house streets where like all the houses are basically made to a grid with like a specific plan. So there's a lot of the houses are kind of similar, and so we stop at like the front of his street, and there's like this really beautiful tree that was like directly under um, a lamppost. And the lamppost, like it's winter, so the tree is just like branches. It doesn't have any leaves, and it lights up this tree. and it looks like a brain. And we were like, whoa, this is so cool. And we like stood there and looked at it. And I was like, I can see the medulla oblongata. And he's just like, yeah, and right there, that's like the frontal lobe. And that's the left and right lobe. And I'm like, yeah, this guy's brain is really thinking. And my dad was like, yeah, this is what nature, this is like why nature is so brilliant. And so like it was the best. Like I had an absolute blast. Um, but yeah, like we finally got to his house and we like saluted his house and then we kept on walking and sorry, I'm like lost in all the other things I need to do. She wanted something to wear too. So yeah, we go to his house, we salute his house, and we're like, take care, old friend. You know, you will be missed. And we keep going, and I see like a Jeep like on one of the streets, and again, this Jeep was like right underneath, like perfectly underneath this old lamp, and the lamp was like kind of a yellowy color, and the Jeep looked like something out of Jurassic Park, like it was like legit a Jurassic Park type Jeep. And I turned to my dad and I was like, oh, stop, wait. And my dad's like, what? And I'm like, we're in Jurassic Park right now. And my dad just goes, I knew we were going to see dinosaurs. And I was like, yeah, whoa, holy cow, we are. That's so, whoa, I didn't know. And so we basically like stomped on puddles the entire way home and got home. And we stood in the kitchen, I think, for like 20 minutes trying to open a bag of chips because like I would try and it would make too much noise, so I'd start giggling, and my dad, he was like, here, give it to me. And then he actually like just made a bunch of noise and he started to laugh too, and we just like passed this bag of chips back and forth like none of us could do it. And my mom comes in and I'm all like, quick, don't act high. And so I'm all like, hey. And I'm like laughing at everything because I was like, oh man, she totally knows I'm stoned. And I'm like, oh god. And then like she goes, you're stoned, aren't you? And I was like, oh thank god, you already know. I'll just take it. And she's like, it's fine. Just like, just be safe. But yeah, it was like under sad circumstances that turned out to be one of my favorite little excursions while experiencing the drug. But yeah, I think I have everybody's. That looks really good. I need to actually go back and relook at his and definitely hers. She wants like a racer. It looked like a racerback top. It might have just been a normal tank, but and then some shorts. I might have to go relook at the shorts. Actually, I want to make those a little higher. Um, but yeah, let's see. I smoked a lot in college. Okay, I have another one. So I took this really cool class in college. I highly suggest it if you ever find yourself in need of a credit and you're not sure what to take. I had to have like a psychology credit, even though I'm an animator. I don't know. It was just something that my college required, and so I took this class, and it was called The Psychology of the Consciousness, and I actually thought that was so cool. Like, usually when you take psychology classes, like in high school and college, it's all about, like, mental disorders, and those are cool, I guess, but, oh yeah, they wanted something, but I already did the line work. I'll just go ahead and change it. But anyway, so yeah, I took this class called The Psychology of the Consciousness, and it was really cool. It was like, it talked about like what we view ourselves as, like our self, like what is our self? Like how can you define yourself? Are you the things that you wear? Are you the things that you own? Are you the people that you hang out with? It's like, and it would do we do like some of the hard questions, like, obviously, does a tree fall down in the woods? Does it make a noise? No, because nobody's around to hear it. Or there's bears in the woods and bees. How can you say that nothing's there? That's how that question just gets totally clustered because people want to argue all the little idiosyncrasies. But I mean, technically, noise would be the sound, the reverberating sound that goes into your ears and is converted into sound. Sound is technically the thing that you hear. But anyway, uh, I'm not that smart. Um, anyway, so we had to write an essay, and I actually really enjoy writing essays. Just like sitting there and writing is kind of like the equivalent of sitting there and drawing. And I I got really stoned. And I was like, the very start of my essay was like, hello, my hands are made of sand. And I just went. It was like, I had this like fever dream trip writing this essay. And in the morning, when I was sober, I read it and it made zero sense. And so I had to rewrite it, but I kept the intro just to just throw my teacher through a loop because I thought that was so funny. And he reads it and he gets back to me and he was like, "What were you on? Like, what is this? I mean, you wrote really well, and like the rest of my essay was what he wanted, but just the intro, he was like, I have to mark you down. The intro doesn't really support what the entire rest of the essay is, so I'm sorry." Um, this guy needed pants of some kind, but I forgot what they asked of me. I guess I could look if I have time. I only have 3 minutes, so I'll look later. Um, it's a dinosaur. uh, but yeah, like it was pretty funny in college. College is fun. I highly suggest. I mean, you're gonna put yourself in debt. So if you're gonna go to college, pick something that's gonna make money, because that's the whole point. Like honestly, I don't support going to college for art. Like, I mean, you can learn, like, go get a degree in something, but you can take side classes for art, because I kind of feel like if you want to learn to, like, video edit and draw in Photoshop, you literally could just get it and then do tutorials, and you will learn. Like, I even had teachers that were like, today our class is going to learn this, and we just pull up a tutorial that was already online. Like, it was just, like, don't waste your money. Just learn yourself. Be passionate. Take that money that you would normally drop on a college degree, and like, if you want to be an animator, make your first animation. Like, hire some other animators and do an actual thing. If you want to be a film editor or like a producer, make your first movie. Submit it into the Cannes Film Festival or Sundance. Like, go do that instead of put yourself in a tremendous amount of debt that you have to like use all of your efforts to crawl out of until you're 40. Like, I'm 33, so I'm almost there. But like, anyway, that's just my 2 cents. You don't have to take it and do anything with it really, but yeah, college is kind of like the time where you are kind of getting out of being a kid and you're asking all the really dumb questions. Like, am I gonna grow up to be a millionaire? Do people, like, is true love, does that really exist? Can you bake spaghetti on a pizza pan? I don't know, just like the really dumb questions. I'm a little jaded. I'm sorry. I'm probably just pissed somebody off. They're like, well, Fox, actually, going to school is very important. It said so. Even Adam Ruins Everything said that going to college is important. Adam Ruins Everything didn't cover art school. He did cover student loans, and the student loan debt is real. But here, he also had a pretty good episode on marijuana, which is interesting. I highly suggest checking it out. I like docu-series and stuff like that. I'll sit and watch them while I draw. Or do this from now on. Just hang out with you guys and talk about all my crazy experiences. But, yeah, I don't think I have very many other 420 stories, sadly. Oh, and that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Hopefully I was entertaining to an extent. I still have a long way to go on this project, so you will definitely be seeing more of it until it's done. Anyway, have a good rest of your day.